Hey, welcome to our episode of Chad's Beer Reviews, doing a new product from Brasserie de Chouffe. This is Chouffe Soleil, Belgian sunshine beer, 6% ABV, and they got a little story about their gnomes on the back there. Doesn't say much else. I do love that it says Puerto Rico, do not litter. Why do they call out Puerto Rico specifically? All right, let's get it into the old school glass snifter, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, I mean, it looks like a Belgian blonde. Actually, kind of looks like a macro lager coming out of the glass with that pale straw color. Get a, pretty decent, that fluffy kind of marshmallowy type Belgian head on there. And it is, so it's bottle conditioned, so I get a little yeast in there. It is a little cloudy. But otherwise, pretty standard Belgian blonde type of aroma, or appearance. But speaking of aroma, yeah, I would call this quite peppery. It's like white peppercorn, real fresh scent on it. It has like a little bit of spicy kind of herbal hops, I think. Yeah, I mean, just smelling this, like I immediately smell like it. Immediately, it's Belgian yeast esters on here. Not much in the way of like distinctive malt. I mean, there's slightly, maybe a little wheat on it, but otherwise it's just kind of a pilsnery 2-row kind of thing. I would not call it toasty. It's just, to me, this is just all Belgian yeast esters and hops, and the malt is kind of in the background. So let's dive in. Cheers. Wow. That is much more, that's even more peppery than the aroma led me to believe. I mean, the aroma itself is actually quite peppery. But it's, the flavor is even more peppery. And I mean, like peppercorn, not, jalapenos or anything like that. Really, really spicy on this one. I would not call it clovey. It's just like this dry white pepper, black peppercorn, pink pepper, if you've ever had that. And even though it smells very Belgian-y, I would not describe it as, I'm not getting like that typical banana kind of quality that you tend to get a lot of Belgians. I'm not really getting the like white grape or other green fruits that you tend to get on a lot of the Belgian like standard strength type beers. I think this is more of a Belgian blonde than anything. And as you can tell, it is very highly carbonated. Yes. Yeah, so I am just getting like all peppercorn. I think it is like a little weedy. I think maybe I get a little Pilsner malt. They don't really specify what's the hops and malts and all that. Let me read this real quick. It says, made from a blend of malted barley, wheat, and rye. Okay. Chouffe Soleil reveals the sweet aroma of elderflower and chamomile, delicious citrus notes, mandarin and lime, enhanced with a touch of vanilla and peppery notes, titillate our taste buds. I don't really get. I mean, okay, yeah, like I think you get like more like citrus peel. And I think it's more lemony than orange. I mean, they're saying mandarin and lime. I'm not getting either of those. To me, it's very lemony. Lemon peel, lemon pith, whatever you want to call it. White peppercorn. Elderflower and chamomile. Doesn't really have like a tea kind of flavor to it. I mean, maybe like a floral kind of note from the hops, and also just like that Belgian terroir character. This could almost pass as a saison, but I think it's more of a blonde just from the yeast esters, because it doesn't have that horse blanket farmhouse quality that you get in a lot of saisons. I will say this is pretty tasty beer. I think it's a little over carbonated, but otherwise, yeah, pretty nice taste. Kind of a slightly simple palate, but I mean, they're calling this a sunshine beer. Like something you would drink outside in the summer. They're calling it a summer beer. I mean, 6% ABV is it's pretty strong for a summer beer. Usually you want 5% or less. Yeah, I mean, now, the more I think of it, like I guess like what I'm calling that peppery, spicy, flavor. It is kind of a bit of a floral or chamomile kind of thing. I think it's just all Belgian yeast accounting for those notes there. Yeah, it is a little. The rye, if it's made with rye wheat or malted rye, that would definitely account for some of that spicy, peppery kind of flavor in there. So yeah, this is tasty. It's a little simple. As far as mouthfeel, it's not super heavy. It's probably call it like medium, maybe medium light, but high carbonation. This is like champagne carbonation. Well, that's probably from the bottle conditioning. So as far as the score for the Chouffe Soleil, I like the label. I like all the labels from this brewery. I'm gonna go solid 4.0, maybe 3.75. It's tasty. I think it's a little overcarbonated. It's hard to sound like a broken record, but yeah, it's a nice, kind of triple light, or sort of a saison, like a cousin of a saison, but it definitely, I think it is more of the, if you read these guidelines, read Belgian blonde, and I think it's a little bit more to that than it is like to saison. All right, so if you watched all the way in, you're awesome. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys for Tuesday night beer school. Cheers.
Somebody brewed it, Chad just reviewed it. Thanks for watching Chad's Beer Reviews.
Trust me, the next episode will be a lot better.